Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Rich Latta here, back with another video. Curt Miller was giving an interview with The Athletic and came up with an odd comparison between Paige Bueckers' potential rookie season and Caitlin Clark's that just kind of came out of nowhere. I found it strange. It made me wonder whether this is something that people in the league are going to, start using as a narrative, to just kind of define a small difference that I didn't really think would necessarily be a negative thing. When we get into it, I think that this would be a benefit, as what happened last year, which we'll talk about in just a second here. But let's pull it up. He was talking to The Athletic, and basically Wings GM conveys key difference in Paige Bueckers and Caitlin Clark's rookie seasons. So the question that he got and the answer that he gave to me didn't necessarily match each other. So it says he was asked whether he has learned anything from the Fever's front office about how a superstar like Bueckers and Clark can materially affect a WNBA franchise. He said, I think first and foremost, Paige's journey and Paige's rookie season is her own. And Chris and his wonderful staff are going to put her in positions to be successful. Nothing bad there. Then when he goes into this struck me as kind of odd. He said the one thing when you talk about last season is that Paige won't have the benefit that Caitlin did. And this is nothing against Caitlin, but we had an Olympic break last year. So you got to see some players take a month-long break, essentially. And those rookies were coming off a grueling season in the collegiate game. They got a break and got to reset and finish strong. This draft class, which includes Paige, is not going to have that luxury. We don't have a big break where they can almost catch a second win and then push to the finish line in the second half of the season, he continued. So we have to watch this rookie class around the league about load management. It's not just our rookies. We're all going to be tuned in to load management, especially these rookies that played long into their collegiate season. Then they go on to say it will be interesting to see how this load management affects Bueckers' rookie season output. Now, I don't know about you, but I didn't really see any of the benefit that Caitlin Clark got coming into the season. For him not to even, first, I don't think he answered the question. Like, he could have said something like, we learned that there's always attention on whatever you're doing. We learned about, anything kind of externally that surrounded the conversation, or, how popular somebody can be or something like that. You would think that would be a normal answer, but he goes into this thing about, last year they got to take a break during the season. And if that's commonly held thinking, then what did they think last season was? Because I know when I was looking at it last season, Caitlin Clark finished up the national championship game, rolled into the draft 2 weeks later, not a week later, and then into training camp 2 days after that. And then into the preseason, less than a week almost after she was drafted. I want to say, I don't have the exact number of days, but it was very fast, a lot faster than they're going to have last year. They didn't get a full training camp. They didn't get, the benefit of the schedule early on with that Olympic break where they're trying to cram all those games in the front. So I think it's just two sides of the coin that, we're looking at it. But I feel like you have to acknowledge both sides of the coin. I think there's just a difference of opinion between Curt Miller and I, that the season last year and those obstacles were a little bit different because by definition, it's an Olympic year. It's not like the other seasons. The season that's coming up is a lot more normal to, 75% of league history has had this same style of rookie season. The rarer type of season is the one that, the rookies had last year, which is the Olympic year. Then you throw on the Caitlin factor and the Fever factor with all those games being jammed in the front, the lack of the training camp. And yes, they did get a break in the second half of the season. Thank the Lord that they got that. And then, they were able to put it together the way they were. But it's just shuffled up a little bit differently this year. It is, they get that full training camp to get that chemistry. That's something, a lot of the rookies didn't get to develop with their teammates till later in the season. So it's literally just moving it around instead of getting that chemistry building in the middle of the season. You're getting it before the season. So people should come into the season stronger, you would think. People should come into the season a little bit more in tune with their teammates. Their coaches should know how to use them a little bit better. So it was just kind of an odd comment to me. And, you know, Curt Miller probably trying to temper expectations for his player a little bit and try to say, oh, actually last year, you know, there was some, you know, there was a benefit to that. But I don't see it personally. I just disagree fundamentally because, you know, you still had to play the All-Star game. You still had to do all that traveling to go through, you know, the Phoenix week and all that stuff. And, you know, they got to sit out, you know, 2.5 weeks or so. Some people a month, but for the scrutiny and the pressure that Caitlin Clark and you know, by extension, the Fever got, you know, the rest was just a small gift from the schedule makers. It didn't necessarily make them less tired. It didn't necessarily make them, you know, just get this bonus, essentially. It's like they still had to put in the work. So odd comments that I'm going to continue watching out of, you know, Curt Miller and, you know, the Dallas front office, especially when, you know, here I am just looking at, you know, different news columns and I come across that. And I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think Curt Miller was trying to temper expectations for what he has going on? Do you think he was trying to make it bit, you know, set it up to be a little bit more difficult? So, you know, by the end of the season, he can say Paige had a tougher season. What do you guys think that it is tougher to kind of compete as a rookie in an Olympic year with the amount of pressure and the compact scheduling that the, you know, that the Fever had? And then in Caitlin's case, she played 82 games inside of, like, you know, the college and pro season combined. So I don't know, man. Like, I think this one is a little bit more, you know, of a hefty load to put on a player. So what do you guys think? Let me know. I'll holler at you guys next time. Anyway, my name is Rich Latta. Make sure you like this video, and we'll see you next time. One lifetime.